So, Deadguy Ale. For the Magic Zoomers out there, what does Deadguy Ale mean in terms of a Magic deck? Google it. We've got a black-white kind of disruptive mid-range deck here that curves out with a bunch of discard spells here at the bottom. We've got other quality interaction and disruption in the form of Skyclave and Elite Spellbinder. And then we've got some other flying threats up here at the top end of the curve that are evasive. Silverquill Silencer is a card that I found reasonably competitive, especially when you start with a discard spell in one. You like play turn 1 discard spell, turn 2 Silverquill Silencer, name a different card in their hand. Some things I'm trying in today's build that are different from the last time we played it. So I forgot that Blinkmoth Nexus was a card in this format when I built this deck originally. I was sad Shambling Vent didn't exist. I kind of felt like I wanted more lands, but I also wanted more utility lands, and getting a utility land that attacks sounds great. So hopefully we're going to slap some people around with the slap land today. Thalia. There's a ton of people playing. Your donation did come up, Bob. Usually I just don't call them out mid-deck tech. Oh, thank you. Thank you. I'll take a leak of the message in just a second. Thalia is a disruptive card that's like good against all these people playing cantrips in this format. And there's a lot of people playing mopey control decks, which is great. Thalia notably stacks with Reidane and it stacks with Spellbinder. So like if you have Thalia and Reidane in play, suddenly your opponent's Wrath of God costs 7 mana. So you'll note one thing that's different. Last time we played this deck, I had a number of creatures that like come back into play from the graveyard. So that's no longer the case now, which means we get access to Rest in Peace in the sideboard as a powerful hit card. And honestly, I could see not playing these Soul Guide Lanterns, just playing a bunch of Rest in Peace could be something we probably want to do. Yeah, I think I'm gonna do that actually. I'm gonna put a third Rest in Peace in the board. I don't know that I want the full 4, but 3 seems super reasonable. And then what do I want for my last card in here? Like I've got Vanishing Verse for Phoenixes as well. All right, I got one more slot here. Cage does not stop Ultimatum. No. Could play another Rankle for when I want to be the beatdown. It's pretty good for the control match. I got a lot of spot removal in there. All right, let's dive into some games with this. See how it goes. Yeah, I think just another Rankle's probably good. Teamer Flash you, Bob. I would love to wrap up today with some Teamer Flash. We're gonna play some Deadguy Ale for a little bit, and then we'll wrap up with some Teamer Flash. Thanks for the support as always, Bob. Nardlet, thanks for re-upping that Prime for the second month. And Fear Devil, welcome back. Scurv chat, 1, 2, 3. Just curve of entry. I really like the red-white mid-range deck we played yesterday too. The only problem with that deck is it just doesn't have good 1-mana plays in it, and getting discard spells at Knight of the Ebon Legion is a pretty big upside to having good 1-mana plays. Cut off their acceleration. I actually have a Mardu mid-range deck in my deck editor for reference. So I'm way ahead of you. I think I start here so I can try and generate some card advantage with Glint-Sleeve Siphoner. The problem with Kurnos, the dog, is that like this deck already has a giant glut of 3-mana spells. So it's like hard. A lot of the cards people suggest that could be good in this archetype, and like they could be good, is that like they're all 3-drops. Which makes it kind of a tough sell. Then Thalia, a better drop to disrupt them on 2, so he didn't have any removal. So this is a card that takes time to charge up. So I've prioritized playing this card to get card advantage generating sooner, rather than playing this card to try and slow them down. For example, look at their second turn. They just left mana unused, so Thalia wouldn't have actually accomplished anything that turn. Now, however, we'll play Thalia before we animate this. So, Glint-Sleeve Siphoner is the only energy card in our deck, and the way you want to think about this card is think about Glint-Sleeve Siphoner as a card that draws half a card per turn. Every time you attack, it makes 1 energy, it draws a card every 2 energy. And any sweeper they could play here probably costs 4 mana, which means it costs 7 mana, so they can't play a sweeper next turn. So now I'm going to go ahead and play Silverquill Silencer here and name Yorion. Be very quiet. We're hunting ultimatum players. Okay, so Thoughtseize and Duress are good here. Rankle's probably good for giving the beatdowns. Skyclave Apparition doesn't sound particularly exciting. Ultimatum has to be the best matchup here, right? I mean, I don't think that's true at all. Like, they have a lot of... I mean, generally speaking, decks that have a lot of removal and especially sweepers tend to be good against creature-based decks like what we're playing, right? I'd rather have, like, a Vanishing Verse as a fun of rather than this, I think. This can exile, I guess they don't have a lot. It doesn't, it's just like a Heartless Act to kill Yorion on occasion. They always have a Yorion. Maybe I want 1 more card in my sideboard here. Although I don't really know that I care specifically about this matchup. Against the more combo-focused ultimatum decks, we can board in Rest in Peace, so we have plenty of cards for those ones. Amy Shark, thanks for the follow. Good morning. Yeah, but this is like one of the few matchups where that's true, Chewy. Like, if you look at like all of the other matchups where I might want an Archon, I have plenty of cards to board in there because Rest in Peace comes in those matchups. This opponent's archetype hasn't been super popular with the most recent card drop, and it's kind of unique in what it cares about. If you go over the ins and outs and like the control matchups and stuff, are you too late for Grixis fun? It's been a hot second since we played some Grixis. I have some in the queue though. I think we're gonna get to Grixis on Sunday or Monday. Thereabouts. Yeah, our hand, you know, I've got Shred him and then Disrupt him and pressure him a little bit. Blinkmoth looking very good so far already. As far as these discard spells go here, you usually want to try and break up their curve a little bit, so I'm going to start on Inquisition of Kozilek here, because I'm going to take a 2-drop to start, most likely. It's funny that they brought in Shifting Ceratops. Okay, so Thalia is going to make my discard spells cost more here, so I think I'm going to go ahead and lead on Thoughtseize plus Knight of the Ebon Legion this turn. And that Duress can tag the Extinction event. And then next turn, I'll be able to go Duress into Thalia and just curve very nicely here. It's pretty scary. I think I actually Glint-Sleeve Siphoner this turn now. That Thalia's not slowing anything down next turn, and then next turn I can go Plains, Thalia, attack with Blinkmoth. If they hit Thragtusk on curve here, I'm not sure we're going to be able to win. Alright, I think them bricking here is hopefully enough to give us room. And even if we draw a land here, we're going to be able to pump this plus activate this. Blinkmoth looking like a really solid addition so far here. Thoughtseize. Yes. Thanks for the follow, Hetty. If I play the untapped land here, they're obligated to block Knight of the Ebon Legion, right? Otherwise they die. And then they can't blink this with Yorion. Friendo. That's sweet. Thragtusk less than black-white shitters. Mopey black-white creatures, go! Ah! Hey, Goyle, thanks for the bits. Tabular Tony, thanks for the follow. Yeah, Knight of the Ebon Legion is a really strong card. Delver would be a safe addition to Historic, definitely. Luris. Could be a couple different Luris decks. I think this is fine on the play. This hand sucks, you Green Monster. I think double Skyclave is pretty good against the average Luris deck. I have 26 lands too. Like, I'm like relatively likely to hit on. Hit on whatever. That was standard. It was fine. It just wasn't very interesting. My opinion on Abundant Harvest, I think it's the best cantrip in Historic. Yeah, it's the same as last standard. I don't think I want to trade either of these into here. It's a little awkward that I can't play both of these. I guess we're firing up this and attacking for 3. And then I think we just play the other Glint-Sleeve because it has Menace. I'm glad Glint-Sleeve Siphoner has gotten to flex a little bit. Is the opponent playing a known archetype? The opponent is a member of Hoaglandia, And they are playing looks like they're playing the Jund mid-range deck that Matt Bamonte finished 10th place with at the last Hoaglandia Open tournament with. So, in a matchup like this, I want more cards that play to the board. I want less discard spells. Rest in Peace is obviously good. Reidane doesn't seem particularly exciting here. They don't really have spells that cost a lot of mana. I'll be boarding in these Fatal Pushes, these Heartless Acts, an extra threat, and Rankle. Do I want Vanishing Verse? It doesn't exile Luris. It exiles exactly Arcanist. I'm bringing in 5 ways to kill Arcanist on 2. I feel like I want a 6th way to kill Arcanist on 2. I want one of these over a Silverquill Silencer. Rip does kind of kill it, that's fair. Yeah, maybe I should keep my threat in. This card's also slightly worse when I'm boarding out my discard spells, though, too. Yeah, maybe I want the threats. The Rest in Peace being a way to effectively take it off the table is big. I have 8 ways then. And this is 4 more ways once we get to a later turn. Leia Masi, thanks for the quarter of a year. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. This is fine. It doesn't have a way to kill Dreadhorde Arcanist, but like the opponent's deck is full of discard spells, like mulliganing a way to kill Arcanist isn't always a sure thing, so again, just mostly keep hands with lands and spells in a matchup like this. Good afternoon, Aceroth. Aggressive start here for them. Second Skyclave is a great pickup. Get this down, start charging my lasers. Does Vanishing Verse hit colorless stuff? No, colorless is not a color. I assume we're going to lose a Skyclave here. I suppose if they have a way to kill Glint-Sleeve, we could see them take Glint-Sleeve, but yeah, I imagine the Skyclaves are going away. This is why you don't mulligan for removal. Thoughtseize, never not bugged. There is a Shopaholics channel for kind of generic talking about stuff to buy. I'm fine trading those. Name their companion here, which is nice. Hey, that's sweet, Chris. Runeterra is a really quality piece of software. Definitely deserves an award like that. Thanks. I'm fine treating this for Apprentice. Flooding a little bit here. Sad that we haven't drawn any castles. We have our Inky Boy, though. So we have 26 lands in the deck, but 6 of them are utility lands. So that's nice. It's a great pickup. The downside to attacking with this is if they have Fatal Push, I enabled Revolt for them. Definitely not drawing here. We're ahead on board. I don't want them to have a chance to catch up. This is why you board discard spells out in matchups like this, chat. You should basically always board your discard spells out in discard spell mirror matches. In a board state like this, you want all of your top decks as possible to play to the board. You'll note that that's something I basically always do in these matchups. It is Read Duke 101, but, you know, a lot of people are learning how to play discard spells now, so it's worth bringing up. A lot of people haven't played these Thoughtseize Inquisition mirror matches. Like, Thoughtseize and Inquisition feel amazing on turn 1, but they're just awful in board states like that.
But I guess it'll work.
That's fine. It's on the back of the house. Hey, Indecisive. Thanks for the Prime support. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Or welcome.
Chat. Chat doing today?
You only had 2 discard. I'd cut all of them, Dimstar. Just 100% get rid of them all.
How is chat doing today?
You got some emotes? Yeah, Blinkmoth's great. Blinkmoth, I'm convinced. I like I said, the original build didn't have Blinkmoth because I forgot it existed.
Yo.
My voice is exactly the right level. If you don't like how loud I am, turn your volume down.
Is that how I turn my volume
That
down?
That is in fact the best way to turn the volume down. Then I get to shock this in and Thoughtseize them, which triggers my Knight of the Ebon Legion here on 2.
Chat, let's have a conversation about the soda. I don't even love soda, but when I get migraines, a Dr. Pepper is my cure. And so then I had a migraine and went to get the Dr. Pepper cure, and it was gone. And that's worse than just not having a soda. Like, I didn't have a cure for my ailment. His fault. It was on our anniversary too, wasn't it? Or was it the day after?
I don't remember.
I can't remember. All the days blur together.
Check the timeline. Does it cure you because it tastes terrible? No, caffeine has a notable impact on headaches. Alright, so we're just jamming Rankle, right?
Oh, diet's gross. Well, I hate diets.
Attack you with this. If they don't try to block with the shark, I'm gonna pump and put them to 6. If they block with the shark, we'll play the Spellbinder.
So I take an extra strength Tylenol, wash it down with a Dr. Pepper, then I use an ice pack as well. And that combination of things does the trick.
Yes, if we Spellbinder the other shark, they can't cycle it, is correct. You can only cycle a card that's in your hand. If they have a sweeper, though, we'll need to take that. I think it's just the hero of Dominaria here, huh? Let's make him cost 7. And then if they try and block with Shark to here, we can pump this and put them to 6. Then they're dead on board to this. You have to have an answer. Okay, Beetle. You just hit them with Rankle? No, I don't want to hit them with Rankle. Hitting them with Rankle is a similar amount of damage to Pumping Knight of the Ebon Legion, and I don't want to lose all of my threats if they draw a sweeper next turn. So I want this as a follow-up if they untap and cast Wrath of God here.
Against men, keep an open mind.
Definitely gotta kill her, otherwise she gives them 4 shots as a sweeper. It's a shame we didn't draw a land here. A land would have let us put... They got a 3rd Shark Typhoon here, feels like. Okay, and I need to commit a 2nd threat to the board here, so that way Teferi downtick's doesn't get them out of it. Nah, ain't nobody got time to play around, settle the wreckage. Yeah, Skyclave can tag Rankle back, is true. Our fractures are gonna be really good here. This is the matchup where I've got 2 fractures on the sideboard. So Duress, Thoughtseize, extra Rankle, fracture. Honestly, a Vanishing Verse is probably good here too. Skyclave Apparition is pretty mediocre here. I might have slightly too many cards for this matchup in my board. I have like 62 cards I kind of like. Maybe we don't want Vanishing Verse. I need to trim 1. Can we cut a land on the draw? It's probably not unreasonable. Just have more spell density in this matchup. How many white sources do I have? I'm cutting my only white card, right? This is 16 white. I could probably cut a plains. So Inquisition doesn't hit any of their big payoffs, chat, but being able to poke through their counter spells is very valuable. So, like, if I wouldn't board Inquisition, like, in this matchup, I don't think. I wouldn't want to put extra Inquisition on my sideboard specifically for this matchup, but we keep the ones that we have. Like, taking Narsets and taking Absorbs and Memory Lapses are all very good things to be doing here. Having information to curve into Silverquill Silencer isn't so very good. I think cutting a land here is right. We're on 26 lands, like, I'm boarding down to 25. And I'm cutting my white spell. Yeah, I went up to 26 lands when I added the Blinkmoth Nexus. I'm gonna take the Hero Dominari here, I think. That's kinda, I boarded out for 3-drops, but I also added in a 4-drop. That's like kind of a wash. Hey, Hat Crab. Hope life's treating you all right on the left coast. Does Reidane make Doomscar cost 2 more? It does. She does. So they have to pay 5. Do I want a 3/3? I don't think so. I'd like more spells, is what I'd like. Blinded by the light. That is an incredible draw. You can find all of the Hoglandi Open coverage and deck lists on my website. You also just go to jeffhoagland.com and there's an open tournaments page link at the top. We're gonna pay 4 life and draw a card this turn. Yeah, I think they're supposed to 1-for-1 the Doomscar too, but as long as they're not, I'm just gonna sit here and poke them for 3. These are both Doomscars. For reference. I think I have to do this to check for Shark Typhoon. I can't just run this headlong into a Shark Typhoon here. It might be right to trade these here. I want to play this out. I think there's a chance I need to 1-for-1 this Doomscar with the Elite Spellbinder. So this forces the Doomscar, they get the 2-for-1, but then I get to deploy the Glint-Sleeve Siphoner. Dead to Shark Typhoon 2. The Electric Boogaloo. It's only the second one. That was the first game they had too. I hate this card. It's such a shitty design. Control deck shouldn't get to play a cantrip that's also a win condition like this. It's just way too flexible. Yeah, it's also instant speed too. Alright, well that was the best draw on my deck. Honestly, running excellent draws here. Blinkmoth Nexus chat, picking this game up and carrying it on its back for us. Yeah, this is like close, and like Shark Typhoon was like their best possible draw in like 40 cards the turn they had it, right? Rankle, please. They double top 2 cards here, so there's a good chance we're dead. Rankle! Rankle! Can I play more castles? Is it legal to play more castles? Can I play like 7 or 8 utility lands? They have an active Azcanti here though, so like if they find another Shark Typhoon, we die. They didn't bin it. What do you got? We got two Rankles in our deck, chat. Those are our best draw, right? We got 2 copies of Rankle. I bet this Teferi's down ticking.
Let's slow this down.
Man, the greed. They've cast 3 Doomscars this game. How many more sweepers do you have? They topped a card, so I assume we're dead. Really need a Rankle. 2 Rankles, 35 cards. Any creature would be an okay follow-up, but... Now we're gonna downtick the Teferi, right?
You need to slow down.
Frank Karsten's numbers are all 1 to 2 too low. All of Frank Karsten's numbers are too low to cast your spells consistently. If I recall correctly, Frank Karsten has like a 10% failure rate baked into his numbers or something like that, and that's too high in my opinion. Alright, I'm just gonna wrap it up. Get me happy with how we boarded, let's run it back. We were on the draw that game too. We were on the draw. They had triple sweeper. They peeled the Shark Typhoon at the upper. Like, if their Shark Typhoon had been 1 turn behind, and we'd gotten in 1 more chip shot. Alright, that's fine. We'll take game 3 on the play. What percentage would you recommend? As high as possible that you can bake into your mana base without giving up too much consistency. 95%? And from 1 in 20 rather than 1 in 10? You want to cut 1 to 2 swamps for castle. So another thing you're not considering in your calculation, this is why mana bases are good too. Mana base search we talked about too, is there aren't that many actual swamps in my deck. And so because I don't have that many actual swamps, castle isn't always going to be an untapped land either, is another very important consideration in terms of curving out. And actually, the way this plays out, I'd rather have an extra white castle than an extra black castle. So I'm inclined to cut a plains for a second white castle rather than cut a swamp and mess up my turn 1 consistency. The matchups where your castles are at their best, white castle is really good. Speaking of really good, we don't have a discard. Our curve here is like a discard spell on 1 away from being ideal. Elite Spellbinder on 3 will have to do. Shark Typhoon's annoying. This card's too good. That's correct, bye-bye. If they only had 1 Shark Typhoon, I'd have taken Shark Typhoon there, chat. The reason why I didn't take Shark Typhoon was because we couldn't cut them off of them altogether, so it wasn't worth doing in my opinion. Tyagod, thanks for the follow. Welcome to the channel. They might cast out in response to this. And when they cast out in response to this, we can play the Elite Spellbinder after. And now this one will take the Shark Typhoon. Can they cycle that from exile? They cannot. Fucking lucky blue-white players, chat. They cannot foretell from exile either, that is correct. Fracture! Oh, that was wrong. I should have played the tap land. That could end up costing me. The 2 life on this with my castle in play is a pretty important piece of efficiency. Gosh, the top of their deck is just so hot. Okay. That's decent. Come on! Come on!
You cannot see your folly.
Do we ignore the Narset? No, I can't give them another card draw off the Narset when they're at 13. Stop it. Alright, games like that, there's really nothing to learn from. Like, close, interesting game 1. Opponent just, like, hotter than the sun in the game 3 there. Or close, interesting game 2 after we ran them over game 1. Yeah, draw better is a good piece of advice. Do I want another castle? I might want another castle. I only have 6 ways to put this into play untapped if I cut the plains, but I kind of want another Castle Ardenvale. Its effect is really good. You probably fit in a tapped land on our curve. We just think about the... I don't have any actual strict tapped lands in my deck, so if I think about the white castle as a tapped land most of the time, I think that's probably fine. 2 tapped lands in 26 is like pretty whatever. Now it's gonna be all Girl and Rogues. I mean, that changes pretty fine, pretty medium fine in those matchups too. Utility lands are good in lots of places. Why did we cut the bangers? Well, this deck doesn't have red mana in it, Wargy. So, Glory Banger would be an interesting card choice. Yeah, I posted a Mardu list the other night. I also wanted to test Deadguy with Blinkmoth Nexus in it. And Blinkmoth has been aces so far. Creature lands are great. This deck would kill for like 2 Shambling Venge, chat. Maybe 3. I think I'd play 3 Vent, 3 Blinkmoth if I had access to it. These are good historic versions. I think Rogues is arguably the best deck in the current format. Look at the last Insight 5K. It won the tournament. It had a second copy in the top 8 as well. Rogues is very, very good in this format. That one's gotta go before it can do stuff. When I'm playing Feather, maybe? Turn for battle, I think, implies Feather redeemed. Well, I mean, Silverquill Silencer is gonna name Reckless Rage, so, like, the first time they cast something, it will die. Sultai Ultimatum's not been particularly popular on the ladder with the most recent set release, Archangel, because the Mizzix Mastery Ultimatum lists have been a little bit more linear and seemingly powerful. How much rogues have you seen today? Actual 0. Again, like, the thing people don't understand, chat, when I say a deck's good or playable or best, this isn't standard, where the best deck is something you play every 3 matchups. Like, yeah, I don't have any control over Cardboard Live, Wargy. Please direct any issues to their people. And that's one of the appealing parts of playing a format like this. Drawing spells is busted, chat. Kind of a close race, huh? Yeah, Standard has like 4 or 5 playable decks, and like 3 of those 5 playable decks are all Bone Crusher Innkeeper decks. Bird Hagrid. That is basically what this card is, isn't it? Damn it, mods. Damn it, mods. Who made the command? Someone look up the command. There's a command, and whoever made the command, link the command to Deadguy and Deadguy Ale, please. Alright. Adcom, Deadguy Ale, Adcom, Deadguy Ale. Is Genesis Ultimatum playable in Historic? No, that's too slow and fair. This is gonna surprise you, chat, but the game where we drew twice as many lands as our opponent, it looks like we're gonna lose. The attack all implies this isn't a blank, because the attack all leaves them dead on the backswing if this is a blank. That's true. You could play Genesis Ultimatum in Historic if you're hitting it with Tybalt's Trickery. It's a good catch. Yeah, Students Advocate's really sweet archetype, for sure. I might have forgotten about Blinkmoth, yeah. Even if they have Reckless Rage here, they're dead because of Silencer, right? Oh, wait, they're not. Because they get to block here. I have to draw... I don't have any instant speed removal, do I? Man. What a razor-thin game. Ah! One card sooner, chat. One card sooner. Alright, so Reidane's very bad here. All of our cheap removal and discard are good. Normally you board out the discard spells in the creature matchup, but they're this funky synergy creature deck, so they're good. They're good here in addition to the removal spells. I think Rankle's probably too slow. How they get a blocker back? Yeah, when you kill Skyclave, they get a 2/2, chat. And cutting a utility land is probably something fine to do here. I'm not going to cut a white source and leaving Skyclave in. Held on real close there. Silencer almost pulling it out, but not quite. Ken wants an untapped black land for turn 2, but I don't think this is bad enough to mulligan. Could have been right to just Skyclave the Arcanist and save the Heartless Act. Yeah, I agree. Wait. Having your white land come into play tapped is less punishing than having your black land come into play tapped is like the TLDR of this deck. Is the Mardu deck good? Yeah, Glory Bringer's like a really good Magic card. Might have to sneak that one into the queue for tomorrow. Decide between this or that for the historic tournament. Nice. If you make any changes, post your changes after you're done. I'm curious to hear thoughts. I haven't played games with it yet. So it's 22 months pylon. Yeah, the Dragon Reanimator deck is Gasoline Omega. I'm glad that one ended up looking like it was better than a one-hit wonder. Yep. Crackling Drake is not a dragon. Big mood. Do I want some Vanishing Verse here? Is it possible I want some Vanishing Verse on the draw? Thalia's a little bit less good. This exiles the flying, the Arcanist. I think I want Vanishing Verse. I think it's just like all Doomblades on deck. I feel like you just don't really want to cut any of your other cards, Wargy, and like you really want to play on curve early. 3 mana is just so much mana. You should try the 3/1 Bob. I want to try the 3/1 next time we play it. That you discard a card to make it indestructible, so that way you still have 8 discard outlets, and it like gives you a better mid-rangey plan against like combo and against combo and control. Hollow Seasoned Hollowed Blade, I believe is the name. Technically has 2 removal spells, and like Spellbinder's a discard spell. Missing a 3rd land though. I feel like missing both 3rd land and no discard spell means I should mulligan here. That's close though. Spellbinder's pretty good. Yeah, I kind of wish I kept the 7. No 2 mana removal spells, kind of rough. No play on turn 2 in general is rough. Any of our 2 mana removal spells here would be ideal. Discard spell would also be fine. This is better than bricking, I guess, but not ideal for sure. See if we can tag a feather here that they were waiting to play out with protection. Okie doke. Well. Well, I guess we'll see whose top decks are hotter here. Oh, God's willing, something that attack could have signified. Yeah, maybe I'm supposed to call on the block so that way. So that way God's willing doesn't get me like that. I think it's just like never not Reckless Rage, right? This attack might be ambitious, because any spell lets them eat this with the Lumimancer. Probably just supposed to poke them with this and keep this back as a blocker. Yeah, I don't think I'll make this attack again. I think this was wrong. I kind of turn off the clock, though, so, you know, maybe it's right. Alright, let's find out. Okay. Everything? Everything means this can block here, which probably isn't worthwhile. This is a free block here, but then this is getting in. I think it's everything but Silencer. And then, like, Reckless Rage is their catch-up card in a spot like this, and we've got Silverquill Silencer on it at this point. I guess, if they hit the bird, that's probably the best straw in their deck. Feather would be, either of their 3-mana flying threats would be good for them. Well, so the problem with attacking with Silencer is, if I attack with Silencer, they get a free block here, and then this chump blocks here. So, like, I'm basically trading my Silencer for Lumimancer in that instance, which isn't a good trade for me. We have a game, as they say. I mean, they're definitely still in this game with the Feather top deck. Actual Stone Cold Nuts back-to-back. You know, maybe with Reckless Rage in the bin, I was supposed to name Feather with this since they'd already played a Reckless Rage. Oh, and they can trigger prowess here too. This attack probably sucks. I don't know. I think we're just fucking dead because we got peeled on runnered again. And these are why, like, when people talk about, well, like, what's your record with the deck? It's like, well, you know, we died to blue-white, we're gonna die to this, but, like, what happened in these games? That's true. The attack is not getting better. This does give us enough energy to Glint-Sleeve Siphoner next turn, if we get a next turn. Our Silencer's gone now, though, so Reckless Rage is unlocked. Which, based on how they've drawn so far, I assume one of these two cards is Reckless Rage. I hate questions like that, Chaos. I don't, like, yeah, I put this together from my deck editor, but, like, even if I didn't build it from a blank deck editor, it doesn't really matter. Deck ownership or tracking where decks came from is very silly. Okay. Yeah, I think I probably should have kept my opening 7. It was basically like the only meaning. I had 2 meaningful decisions that game. I could have kept my opening 7, and I could have named Feather on Silencer. I think I probably should have named Feather on Silencer because they already had a Reckless Rage in the bin. That's probably the line. But like, why does that matter, Chaos? Why does it matter to you if I edited a submission, or like what does that mean in terms of like what the deck's doing? Why is that important for you to know? What do you gain or learn by knowing the answer to that question? Why is it worth asking? Alright, so they're a Torrential Gearhulk combo deck. I want Duress, I want Thoughtseize, I want these Rest in Pieces. Honestly, I might want these as well, just to kill the Gearhulks after they come into play. Skyclave Apparition is pretty bad. Yeah, it's just like weird clout. I hate the whole culture around that. And that's not even just a Magic thing. That's a card game thing where people are like so thirsty for clout. They like have to claim ownership of things. Like, believe it or not, chat, putting all of the discard spells with like the kind of taxi creature in this deck, I didn't really do anything innovative here. I just put the cards together that kind of make sense together. I think we're again cutting a land. I think when I'm cutting the white, when I cut the Skyclave, I cut a white source. Maybe I don't want Vanishing Verse and Fracture. Fracture's probably better because it can kill treasure tokens in response to Indomitable Creativity. My deck is farm raised and GMO free. I hatched it from an egg. Oh, they're the Lorehold deck. They're the turns deck, they're not the... Okay, so... I think I'm happy with how I sideboarded still. The rest in pieces are bad, though. Huh. Okay, so the Rip shouldn't be in my deck. Maybe I want Rankles instead. We're gonna cast it, I suppose. The downsides of winning the first game as quickly as we did. We were boarded wrong. Well then. Why did I take Experimental Overload when I had Rip? Oh! Oh, ha, because I'm dumb. I thought I wanted them to not have a creature token. I forgot the creature token. Well, I'm expecting them to kill my Blinkmoth BSQ. I didn't realize the creature truck was based on their graveyard. Definitely wrong card to take with Rest in Peace. And I'll probably board Rip out still for threats. Or are we just like saving for 7 mana cast the dragon? I think we are. That's kind of scary. These Rest in Pieces looking real bad here. Hideout Theater, thanks for the prime. Yeah, I think we're dead. I'd rather have Heartless Act, probably. Killing the dragon in response sounds good. This is fine. Not amazing, but fine. I don't have any white cards in my deck, so we'll play this on one for black. How do you decide which creature lands to use in a deck? Well, there's basically only one playable creature land in this format. And it's Blinkmoth. Like I don't have things like Shambling Vent's not legal in this format. And again, when this exiles Shark Typhoon, it's no longer cyclable, it's just an 8 mana enchantment. Yeah, the monocolor decks, like, don't really exist in the format right now, though, James. I don't know that I really count those. It might have been right to wait on Reidane here. Well, I guess if I wait on Reidane, they could go Dwarven Mine into Polymorph spell next turn. So yeah, I guess playing Reidane is right. Now it's a 10 mana enchantment, soon to be 11. Dire Tactics over Heartless Act. Nah, we don't actually have that many humans. I'd rather just have the spell that doesn't hurt me. In the aggressive matchups, you can't really afford to pay life for something like that. Like if you, and a lot of the time too, like we don't have any humans that will play on 1, for example, and like playing Heartless Act on turn 2 will be something that you'll do quite frequently against Skrull. You don't want to like lose 2 to 3 life. Snarls do not feel playable in Historic. Yeah, the Shadow lands, the Hand lands, the Snarls, whatever you want to call them, we have the other cycle of those in Pioneer, and you basically didn't play them in Pioneer. They're much worse than the other dual lands you have available on average. Turn 1 Brainstorm. Yep. This is not op chat. Don't do this. Don't cast Brainstorm on turn 1. And if your hand is 1 land Brainstorm, no other cantrips, probably mulligan. Unless you, like, already mulligan a bunch. Thanks for the Prime support, Sigil. I'm glad you're enjoying the Dragon Reanimator deck. It's sweet. They're barely playable in Standard. You know, they're super playable in Standard. In Standard, you just need all the dual lands you can get. There are nowhere near enough dual lands to not play those in Standard. We've been dismissed, chat. I think with this draw, I'm supposed to play Spellbinder here, so I can go 2-drop, 2-drop next turn. I think it's that one, right? What makes a creature land good in Deadguy Ale specifically? I mean, have you seen Blinkmoth Nexus these games? Just like lands that are also provide pressure are really good. Reidane's pretty mediocre here. They have Dreadhorde Arcanist. Does Dreadhorde Arcanist make me want some Fatal Push? It's not that like creature lands are good in Deadguy Ale. It's that creature lands are good in mid-range decks. Is like the TLDR. Rankle gets blocked here by a bunch of stuff, right? Probably pull this out. It's kind of expensive. If I'm boarding like this, I can probably afford to trim a land to get like a Fatal Push in here. Maybe I'd rather have Heartless Act because Heartless Act kills Crackling Drake. I think Archon of Emeria is worse than the other 3-mana disruptive cards I'm already playing, and I don't have room for more 3-mana disruptive cards. I think Archon is inferior to both Spellbinder and Reidane. The deck that plays Archon, Spellbinder, and Reidane, the Green-White Company deck, that deck gets to play Collected Company, which offsets the fact that they have too many 3-drops. It also plays Land War Elves, which offsets too many 3-drops as well. So it doesn't really fit into this archetype because of curve considerations. I kind of want a second Heartless Act here, but I also don't really want to cut anything that I have at the moment, so I think we'll just run with one. Maybe I'd rather have a second Heartless Act than a Vanishing Verse. It's like I'm bringing in Rest in Peace to exile Phoenixes too, and I have Skyclave Apparitions. Maybe this is just slow. Exiling Phoenix with this is kind of a liability, because like giving them a 4/4 is scary. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna trim a Skyclave. I just looked up Shambling Vent, and that card's insane. Ah, Magic Zoomers. Yeah, Shambling Vent's probably the best or second best of the 2-color creature lands in that set. It's real good. Nice, nice. Pillar? I think it's Pillar. It's Pillar. Okay, so I think we Silverquill, name Expressive Iteration, huh? So, like, this is what they want to do next turn, and now we punish them if they want to do that? Yeah, bleed for me. Thalia Drown Yard. It's a rude card. Creature lands, chat. I believe in you. You can adapt and learn. I'd also accept Slapland. Because the land jumps up and slaps your opponent. Oh, you know, I probably should have played the castle tap there, huh? Goblins feels impossible. Yeah, Goblins is impossible for all these decks, Wargy. I'd just punt the matchup and accept that you're not going to win it. It's how fair decks work. You're not going to beat everything. I mean, we're definitely going to get Mutavault and Historic. Mutavault is Pioneer legal, and all Pioneer legal cards will eventually be Historic legal. This is for people that haven't kept up. That's pretty good. Yeah, Goblins isn't super popular, so I think playing a deck that punts that matchup is fine. Yeah, Mutavault was in a fairly recent core set. And by fairly recent, I mean like a half a decade or more ago. 2015? Yeah, 6 years ago? Good lord. Oh, it hurts, chat. Why does it hurt so much? Alright, so they haven't shuffled since they had Ox, right? So, like, there's gonna be an Ox of Agnos coming into their hand soon. Still have Ox. I'm gonna play this in Name Stern Dismissal. Hey, GG, thanks for the follow. Wouldn't be surprised if they try and work up to 7 mana for this. Howdy, Ninja Turtle. Alright, well, we're winning this race currently. Do I play around another Cinderclasm? I don't know that I do. I wanna kill them through a piece of spot removal here. I read Skyclave Apparition. Yeah, we're gonna play Teamer Flash after this deck too, and Teamer Flash is pretty reasonable if we don't run into a bunch of rogues. So there's a non-zero chance we spike up into Mythic today. I've had so many games where I'm in the tanks trying to figure out if I can play around everything or what I can play around, and the opponent just concedes. Yep. Can't make a decision about this off of just basic forest, so no companions, so Sleeve Siphoner it is. Yeah, standard was kind of dry, but Winota was good. They're playing Groll and trying to figure out who they want to step on here. Goose. Uh-oh. Pretty sure we want a Spellbinder next turn. Could be Bonza, yeah. Hey, chat. Playing 26 lands is great. Play more lands. We're not gonna board a land out in this matchup. This card is so good. That's Menace to chat. She's like a scary Bob. Hey, I'm not. Yeah, so this is a scary version of you. Glint-Sleeve Siphoner is scary Bob. Alright, so Heartless Act is good here. Vanishing Verse is good. Is this a creature matchup where I break my normal rule and leave some discard in because they have high impact cards? Maybe? Pulling my curve down sounds good. Need to cut 2 cards here. If we coward split these discard spells 2 and 2, they have some higher impact ones. I guess a lot of the cards I want to be discard spelling are Thoughtseizable and not Inquisitionable. This list feels super reasonable. I like the Blinkmoths have been great. I don't think I have any changes after this set based on where we're at. Black Aggro and Jund Herald, what deck would you round out? I don't know offhand. Probably something in the Jund colors so you could reuse parts of your mana base. Maybe Thalia is something I should board out here. If they're going to be attacking our lands. My favorite Thalia art, it is. Yeah, that's why I'm using this one. Most decks would run Bob over Glint-Sleeve. Yeah, it's probably true. It is worth noting that Glint-Sleeve's not strictly worse, though. The Menace has been super relevant in a lot of our games. And honestly, not having to take damage has been relevant too at multiple points. Like it being optional is nice. Yeah, I think Temur Flash is a great card, a great deck. Alright, so we're gonna take this card, and then we'll play Silverquill Silencer on Glory Banger next turn. That was wrong. Obviously, if I was going to do this, I should have played the tapped land. My line changed halfway. Yes, Thalia, or Klothys is a creature everywhere except in play. Can't negate Klothys. Huh? Do I just play both of these? Yeah, because holding this up if they brick is really bad. And like if they play Glorybringer and attack with it and kill this, I'd like lose 3, I draw a card, then I can Heartless Act it. Dodge a sweeper, we can dodge a ball here. Alright, and now they can't cast Glorybringer because of Silverquill. Oh, that's either going to gain 2. Right, unless they draw like Sweltering Suns here, they should be dead. Sheltering. Sheltering Zones to keep him in the game. Blinkmoths only do so much against Glythis. That's not sweet. You know, it's funny, before Strixhaven happened, I talked about, people would always ask me, Jeff, what's your favorite deck in Historic? And like, I've been enjoying playing Historic for a while, but I really didn't have a deck that I was like, this is my deck, and I love playing it. And I feel like I can say that about this one. I like what this deck is doing a lot. It feels super, I almost said super powerful. It feels super sweet. Someone else had mentioned earlier that like they felt like this deck was lacking a little bit, and decks like this just aren't super powerful. They're decks that are like playing a collection of cards that are reasonable and neat, and I think if you play well, they're small edges type decks. Both Thalia's inclusion and Blinkmoth felt really good in this set today. Yeah, I like what this one is doing. In fact, let's get committed here. All right, are we good? Oh, I have some ones on the sideboard here too, huh? As we see here, a whale in its natural habitat, enjoying the Magic the Gathering arena. I like it. Sweet. Look at that. 100% borderless. You love to see it. Light them up. Is this the arena equivalent of putting a ring on it? It is. All right. Let's play some Teamer Flash.